welcome to the July 26th meeting of the Glendale City Council. Next item, please.
Next item is salute led by Councilmember Garpetian, followed by the invocation.
Thank you.
Please join me in saluting our flag. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation. As we gather here today as individuals committed to the safety and prosperity of our jewel city, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. We are thankful for this day granted to us and for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always. Amen. Next item is a proclamation for Korean comfort women.
Whereas during its colonial and wartime occupation of Asia and the Pacific Islands from the 1930s through the duration of World War II, the Japanese Imperial Army commissioned the acquisition of young girls who became known to the world as comfort women. And whereas the comfort women system of forced military prostitution by the Imperial Army is considered one of the largest cases of human trafficking in the 20th century. And whereas the City of Glendale commends the United States Congress House of Representatives for the passage of Resolution 121 and joins with their recommendations that the government of Japan should educate current and future generations about the horrible crime while following the recommendations of the international community with respect to the comfort women. And whereas the City of Glendale has a long-standing history of recognizing cultural diversity and has been a strong advocate for human rights around the world, this was evident in 2013 when the Glendale City Council voted to approve the Comfort Women Monument in the Glendale Central Park. Since the decision was made, the City of Glendale has continued to support the efforts to secure the rights of those known as comfort women. Now, therefore, I, Paula Divine, Mayor of City of Glendale, proclaim July 30th as Korean Comfort Women Day and extend our profound hope that bringing these atrocities to light will serve as a grave reminder to the world that crimes against humanity will not be condoned or tolerated. Thank you. Councilmember Friedman, you want to start?
Yes, I'm just very proud of the City of Glendale for being the place that we have the Comfort Woman statue, which I think everyone in California can be proud of and visit. And it's done a lot to keep the memory of what happened alive and to educate the American public about what happened to those women. And of course, it serves as a ongoing reminder about the fate of innocent people, particularly women and girls, in times of war and conflict, and that's something that always bears remembering.
Our city values human rights and human dignity, and therefore it makes sense that that statue came up. It was erected in the city of Glendale and not somewhere else.
The statue here is a testament to the City of Glendale's commitment to condemn any crime against humanity.
The statue and our commemoration of Comfort Women Day has brought Glendale international renown. Once they learn that you're from Glendale, they would immediately light up and be so happy to see us because of the bold step that we took in erecting the statue and creating the Comfort Woman Day. It was a great tribute to man's inhumanity to man. It is still a burning issue with some members of the Japanese nationalist community, not so much Japanese Americans, but those in Japan. They're always would like to meet with us when they come to visit to discuss removing the statue and so forth, and we have serious discussions with them, frank discussions with them about what that means to us.
Next item, please.
Madam Mayor, Next item listed here is community event announcements. There's a 3-minute portion reserved for community event announcements. Also, there's a portion for individuals who have submitted an orange card who wish to speak for 3 minutes on any item not agendized, for going 5 minutes at the conclusion of the meeting.
First, let's have for community announcements. Noreen Carpetian.
Good evening, dear Madam Mayor, City Council members, and city staff. My name is Narine Karbertian, and I came here with my friends, almost 30 people, Armenian American citizens, living in Glendale and surrounding area. I myself live here in Glendale in more than 16 years, and Glendale has been a safe haven for all of us. Thanks a lot for everything we've got. I'm very proud and happy being American citizen, but I wouldn't come to United States to live if not the criminal and corrupted government of Armenia destroying my motherland for more than 20 years. And now I'm concerned very much for Armenia. Since just recently, a week ago, July 17, 2016, an armed group of 25 freedom fighters, loved and respected very much by local Armenian people, were forced to stand up and take a heroic step by taking control of one of police stations in capital city, Yerevan in Armenia. They took 8 police officers as hostages and voluntarily released them after just 5 days. So what they demand, what is the purpose? Impeachment of President Sargsyan, releasing more than 17 political prisoners, and creating a new temporary government chosen by the people of Armenia. As a result, 20,000 people are on streets now supporting those 25 patriots, 4 of which were attacked by police yesterday, and now they arrested from hospital. They are patriots saving our country. They are not terrorists, as Armenian and Russian presidents and their news stations report. They are patriots from the criminal, and they are saving the country from the criminal and hijacked government. If they are terrorists, then the all 24,000 protesters now on the street tonight, on the streets of Armenia, they are terrorists too. A whole country can't be labeled as terrorist. They just fight for their simple human and constitutional rights. And our Glendale is a sister city with 2 cities of that country, Gyumri and Ghapan. Here I'm asking from you to stand up with them and us Armenian Americans in Glendale and reaffirm democracy for all in the world, including Armenia. As an honor to our sister city Gyumri, I must say that their police department with some other regions refused to go to Yerevan to support President Sargsyan, saying that they're not gonna fight against their own people. There are many videos and images on Facebook and YouTube and everyone can take a look to see. Madam Mayor, City Council members and city staff, please stand up against this violence and aggression. Make your voices and our voices also to be heard, that corrupted and criminal regime in any way, everywhere is not acceptable by us, by you and by us, and you can help our sister cities in Armenia. Thanks a lot for your efforts for democracy and justice.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Christine Hovhanessian.
Hello, my name is Christine Hovhanessian, and I'm here on behalf of almost 30 people sitting in this room today, and the majority of Armenians in Glendale, to bring forth some points for your consideration. We are all Armenian American citizens in this beautiful city, county, state, and nation. We only dream that one day our families and friends can have the true democratic rights as we do in our motherland, Armenia. We know that you are all advocates for human rights. We are here tonight to ask you to be an advocate for human rights in Armenia with your important voices. You are the role model for Armenia that has yet to rise out of dictatorship and communism. You can influence the leadership to take roads towards democracy and end corruption. you have graciously accepted two sister cities in Armenia, Gyumri and Ghapan. And thus, the welfare of the citizens of those cities are a responsibility you carry. So you must lead and speak up, since within your agreements, three of you are obligated to share problems and solutions to the daily city activities. What we are asking of you tonight is to stand with us and reaffirm the tenets of democracy for all in the world, including Armenia. To speak up and let it be known that corruption in any format is not acceptable and that you and the citizens in this community and Armenia cannot be fooled. Offer your expertise to the government, who cannot and should not be leading with options to support them on how to step down and out of their seats in the government. Give them a lesson on election fraud, because the top leadership, including President Serge Sarkisian, was never elected by the people. Thus, it cannot serve the people, especially that he is a drug-addicted person and a simple blood test would eliminate him from being president. Help us give the message to the council here in Glendale that cheating, lying, stealing, curtailing human rights will not be tolerated, and that they are an embarrassment to our Armenian American community here in Glendale. Speak up against holding peaceful demonstrators. Speak up against police brutality. Speak up against jailing oppositional leaders. Different views are a part of a true democracy. So I ask of you to lend a helping hand and not stay indifferent. Thank you for your time and attention, for giving us a platform to express our frustrations in a peaceful manner, for being a true model of democracy and listening to your citizens. We are truly grateful for your time. Thank you.
Angela Barsegian.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. As you just heard from two speakers, Armenia is going through very, very difficult times these few days. And of course, nothing happens on the spur of the moment. These activities were developing in time as a result of rigged elections and a leader, president of Armenia, who was not fairly elected by the people. He is not behaving like a president of a country. He is basically starving people, especially these folks who have tried to convey a message of liberty and fairness and justice for all citizens. The city of Glendale cannot be sisters with leaders of countries that are corrupt, that are thieves, they steal, and who do not uphold the democratic values of our country. We have to respect only those who do carry and who do provide human rights to the people of their own countries. Therefore, it is an embarrassment to all of us here in the United States to witness what is going on in Armenia today. They are starving these folks who have tried to convey a message of justice. Basically, they turn off their electricity. They basically they have police officers surrounding these folks, and there's police brutality everywhere. Thousands of people are in jail. They're beaten up. They force them to kiss the shoes of the police officers. Human rights violations go beyond words. What is going on? I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to take your opportunity, your positions, your voices, and make a phone call to the country's leadership in Armenia and convey your absolute anger and concern that we cannot be sister cities with leadership of a country that is so dictatorial, that is so violent, and is not upholding the democratic values of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Samak Merhelian, followed by Mike Mohill.
Madam Mayor, good evening, Councillor. My name is Saag Mikhalian. In 1995, I've been granted political asylum here in California. 21 years later, we are in 2016. Unfortunately, nothing changed in my motherland, and it turns worse. The government trying to turn Armenia into the bloody hell just like it happened in Syria. We need your support that you can send your hospitality here, the Armenian embassy right here in Glendale. It's been 7 consecutive days. We've been marching there, trying to send our voices to the government through the embassy. We've been ignored by the embassy, we've been ignored by the press, we've been ignored by the TV. That's why we are here, to send our message. We need your support. We don't want to see another political prisoners and the people in fear of their life flee the country just like we did, and it's been going on for the last 25 years. This should be stopped. People deserve to have a freedom of speech and rights, to have a decent life. That's all I have to say, and I'm demanding you guys, make your statement and send it to the embassy, which is right here at the corner of Glendale. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Did you want to comment? Anyone want to comment? I just want to say that I appreciate all of you staying for this long, because I know you've been here since at least before 6 o'clock. So I can feel how passionate you are about what you are saying. I don't know if any of my other council members
I'll comment.
would like to before.
Sure.
I don't see Michael Moyle.
No, needless to say, I've been following what's been happening in Armenia over the last, what is it now, 10 days, 9 days since the 17th. And I'm very troubled by it. I just came back from Armenia about 2 weeks ago. So to say that this was a surprise to me would be a lie. But, you know, I can make statements and express myself about how I feel about what's happening in Armenia, but why do that when I've done that on numerous occasions throughout the years? There isn't a TV station in Armenia, there isn't a newspaper that I haven't given interviews to every time I visit Armenia, which is every year, in which I have not raised my concerns about the lack of democracy, about the lack of transparency, about the corruption, about the migration. I've spoken about these issues over and over and over, and I did again this June when I was there. So this is very dear to my heart. It hurts when it's happening, and it's very sad. Obviously, democracy is the highest value that needs to be fostered and protected in Armenia, and it's not, unfortunately. And I'll tell you that I've personally met with the Նախախորհրդարան board, everyone, with Varujan, with Zhiraid, with all of them. I know these guys personally. So I'm very saddened by what's happening. I understand that there was a police stormed the building today, and it's not clear how many casualties there are. So I'm just hoping this comes to an end and the country goes back on a democratic path and its people are treated fairly.
Anyone else? Councilmember Najarian?
I appreciate the speakers coming forward, and I hope that you realize that although our hearts may be with you, there's really very limited action that the City of Glendale Council can take. This is truly dealing with foreign affairs, as well as the internal affairs of Armenia. But I can assure you that during my most recent visit to Armenia, which was last July, about a year ago, that I did meet with the president. And during that time, if you recall, the Electric Armenia protests were just underway. It was the day after they had used some forceful means to try and disperse the crowd. And I told the president, although I'm hesitant to reveal everything that our discussion was about, but I just gave him some anecdotal evidence about the value of an open democracy where residents from the public can come and criticize their leaders. And in a sense, I told the president that that makes your government stronger. And I told him that every week we sit here at City Council and we are condemned by certain members of the public. We're accused of being corrupt, of being unfair, of being unlawful, of being criminals. But it's through those expressions of opinion that ideas are exchanged and emotions can be released. I also spoke to the mayor of Yerevan, to Daron Markarian, with whom I'm very close, and expressed the same thing, that heavy-handed means of controlling and trying to control and eradicate public opinion is a way of backfiring. And to the extent that I, as an individual, could express that, these are the elements of democracy that we all believe in. It's not something special that the city of Glendale has. It's just our system here in the United States. I didn't feel that it was my position to point out corruption, because we have corruption in the United States. It wasn't my place to point out that some elections are rigged. We've heard about how some elections can be rigged just recently during the Democratic National Convention. But in terms of human rights and being fair with the people, I expressed my opinions. I will continue to do so. I know that all of us, when we travel, express those same sentiments to anyone who will listen. The important thing is that we hope and pray that that the message that the gentleman wanted to bring out about their displeasure with the way the government's being run is being resolved in a peaceful manner, and that any discourse be done without violence and with open ears and open minds by everyone.
Councilmember Marchetti.
Yes, thank you, thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, I'd like to thank all of you for coming over here as well. I just came back from Armenia to the reason to our travel was christening of my daughter, my third daughter. We had two that were baptized in Armenia in the Mother Church, and it was our wish and hope to do the same for our third child. And 2 days after we come back, this incidents happened, which is very unfortunate. I also met with the mayor of Yerevan and also the Ministry of Diaspora in Armenia, and we express our feelings every time about the democracy, about the human rights. And there is so much we can do from here, from this dais, to change anything in Armenia. But my hope is that this will be end peacefully, because when you look at, when you watch these videos on YouTube and you look at the faces of the soldiers or the police officers who are standing against their people, you can feel the pain. So we just hope that they don't want to be there. There's so much going on, and these things will take time. Democracy doesn't come easy. It doesn't come. It will take time. I know 20 years is a long time, but it's not a long time. Armenia is a new country. It's been, 25 years since its independence, and we do what we can do. We share your pain and your feelings, but there is so much we can do from this dais to change anything in the government of Armenia. People of Armenia will decide. People always decide. The middle class, the average working class will decide what has to happen in Armenia. And sorry?
What people of your city can come and stand with us there.
Please,
Okay, I'm sorry. So that's all I have to say, Madam Mayor, and we share your pain and feelings. That's all I have to say at this time.
I just want to add a little thing about the issue of the sister cities. Yes, we are sister cities with 2 cities in Armenia. And Gyumri is relatively new. It's about 2 years old. And, Gyumri is probably the most the most severely impacted city in Armenia because of not only the economic collapse, but also the earthquake. So the idea with becoming sister cities with Gyumri was to create some kind of a positive relationship, help them out in that sense. So that relationship is very new. It's yet to be tested. In terms of Kapan, if you've noticed the last 12 years that sister city relationship was created, there's been nothing happening in the last 5 years. Nothing. That relationship is very weak right now. And I'll tell you frankly, 2 years ago when Armenia's prime minister asked to meet with me, when we met, I told him, I said, so long as Liska is the governor of Sunik, I can't convince the people of Glendale to support this relationship in a robust manner. And that's true. So long as people like Surik Khachatryan are ruling in that area, I can't see it happening. That's it.
So I think the takeaway here is the fact that you have council members here that really care and hope for a safe resolution to this issue. But we do what we can do, and whenever we are in Armenia, we try to contact or be in touch with, as you can hear, the elected officials there. But again, we do what we can do, and our hearts are with you and our prayers. Hope that that this gets resolved soon. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Is Mike Mohill here? Next item, please.
The oral communications, 5 minutes. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Council may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The city manager may refer the matter to the appropriate department for investigation and reports. Madam Mayor, I do have 5 cards.
How many?
5.
Madam Mayor, would you mind if I am excused? I'm feeling a little under the weather.
Oh, no, it's okay. Good night. Thank you. Armenian? I'm sorry?
Armenia?
Oh, okay, yes.
Sorry about that.
And I have old eyes, so you have to
Yeah,
make
I know.
sure
It's quite all right.
very clear.
Good evening, City Council, staff. My name is Ara Manugian. Some of you know me, probably most of you don't. I happen to know some of you personally. I'm a native of California. I was born in Pasadena, and I am kind of known in the community as a human rights activist and an investigative journalist. Today I'm speaking to you again regarding an issue which was brought up earlier during the earlier discussions regarding the current situation in Armenia. And I'm not coming to you and addressing the Armenians here. I'm addressing the city because there is a serious issue going on in your sister cities in Armenia. They are in crisis today, and unfortunately, very little press has been given. There has been protests in front of the Armenian consulate on the corner of Lexington and Central every night, starting at 7 o'clock for the last week. We're in the 10th day of this crisis in Armenia. I'm not going to give you background on what happened because you've already heard of that, and some of the council members here already have been following all of this, and I would encourage everyone to find out and educate yourself on what's really going on there. I call on the city of Glendale as a city which prides itself in addressing human rights issues and honoring atrocities, as they've honored the Armenian genocide, they've honored the comfort women from World War II, and I would hope that the city of Glendale, as a community which prides itself in human rights, will stand up for the human rights of the citizens of Armenia who also are found here in the city of Glendale in exile. They have left that country because of the condition that's going on today. Many of them are here not because they want to be here, because they see no other alternative. They would love to return back to Armenia. I know a lot of people in Glendale complain about too many Armenians in the community. Well, if you want to get rid of the Armenians that are here, that don't want to be here and you find unpleasant, help them with their country and their condition so they can return. I myself am an investigative journalist. I'm in exile. I'm a survivor of 7 attempts on my life while I was living in Armenia, by government officials, by mafiosos, and so on. Everybody knows the stuff that I write is quite potent and not well received. And I would encourage you, instead of, I heard council members, and I don't want to address you as Armenians, just as what you have stated saddens me that there's nothing we can do here. Your politicians, and it's politics that are really pushing these issues and causing these problems, these human rights issues. You have a president which you have admitted to meeting with, who was clearly fraudulently elected. It was a rigged election. As you know, those of you, at least Zadeh and Ara know, I went on hunger strike in 2013, or 2013 following Serge Sarkisian's fraudulent election. And again, I didn't hear and have support from our politicians here. Rather, they clapped and honor him and recognize him as an official, the official president of Armenia, which very clearly he's not. And the actions that he's taken over the last 10 days have proven that he is not a leader to be honored, but rather a leader to be shamed and to be called out on. I would encourage each of you individually to write a statement. I heard statements here, but those weren't official statements. The city of Glendale should be issuing an official statement. We have our sister cities that are, again, Rapan, the city of Rapan, the one that the communication between them in the last 5 years has kind of dwindled because of the governor of the region. Rapan has made a statement today that they stand by the revolutionaries that started this on the 17th, and that they are asking for the resignation of Serge Sarkisian. I would suggest that you research that, because that is one of your sister cities. Furthermore, I am asking, I know Laura Friedman had to leave, but I'm even calling on her to make a statement, because she is a council member for a city that has the largest Armenian population. I also call on Artie, who is running for the 43rd Assembly District, to make a statement. He's a politician at the end of the day. It all counts. Serge Tankian made a statement. A famous actress from Canada made a statement today. She actually stood in front of the rally and made a statement. I want to conclude by saying that come Friday, my colleagues and I are going to start a hunger strike at the stairs in front of the City Hall here until we have a response from the city, a positive response that represents who the city of Glendale is, and to show their human rights side of them rather than lip service. Thank you very much.
Christine Malajian.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for having me here. I really appreciate your time. By this late evening, you're here and working for our community to make it great. I'm here for the same reason that all Armenians were here today, and they, in very details, explained what's really happening right now in Armenia. And I know that every Armenian right now struggles with the pain and struggles with the helplessness, and they don't know, they don't have any platforms to raise their voice. So you're their last hope. I'm so proud to see a lot of Armenian last names in here. Zare, Sinanian, Vartan, Karbechian, Aranajarian. You're very well-respected people in this community. And our Armenian community voted for you and put their trust in you to be represented well. However, I don't see them represented well in here. When I heard you, what you're saying, you basically said you're basically helpless. If you are the politicians of one of the greatest country that is an advocate for human rights and democracy, and you feel helpless, how do you want us to feel? What we need to do if you are feeling helpless? You said, Zareh Sinanian, that if Liska is in the sister city and you cannot do anything, are you, forgive me to ask you, are you feeling helpless or, God forbid, scared of Liska? Why can't you make statements officially how you feel about it? You're not only American politicians who advocate for human rights, you're also Armenians. How do you feel personally about it? Why won't you raise your voice? Because things that's really going on in Armenia is beyond human. Right? What they do with these people, do you know that there are 400 people are kidnapped right now? Do you know that they don't know where are they? Do you know how many people, how many hundreds of them are beaten in the KBG, that's how I call them, and how many fingernails are taken away from the fingers? Do you know that? Do you know that they discharge blood right now because they beat them for their kidney that much? It is beyond human. When in Kenya, girls were kidnapped, our president stood up and said, bring out our girls back. We went to Syria. We went to Iraq. We went to Ukraine for human rights. We wanted them to have freedom. We were there for them. Why not Armenia? Why is this double standards? Why are we feeling helpless in that country? What's the problem? Maybe you can explain that to us and we can understand. Because at this point we are voting for you to represent us and we don't feel that we are represented well. So there are a lot of opinions already heard, and we know that you are aware of this. And I will really appreciate if I will have your word that you're going to investigate it even more, and you will give your official statement to the government of Armenia, to the city, to the Liska, to the city, sister cities of Glendale, and you will condemn the police brutality, the government corruption, as a politician and as an Armenian. And as my fellow Aram Manoukian said, I'm going to go to hunger strike too on these stairs in the Glendale city. As much as it's going to take. You have until Thursday to issue that political statements, or on Friday you're going to see our faces every single day here on the stairs. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Thank you. Good night.